fans, for the first time we will have a driver interviewed for the second occasion, and it's Tanner Holmes out of Jacksonville, Oregon, with some breaking news as he will be joining the World of Outlaws for the rest of the 2023 season. That interview is coming up next here on Getting Up to Speed after these messages. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. This broadcast is brought to you by Meat Freaks Jerky Club. Get the best jerky the world has to offer straight to your door by visiting meatfreaksjerkyclub.com. Pick your box and plan, tell them where to ship, and receive and enjoy. Log on to meatfreaksjerky.com and use promo code SPEED. He's on the phone with me. The big news was unleashed earlier on Monday, and it's Tanner Holmes, who we can proudly say is going to be in a new ride. And Tanner, it's first of all, you're the second guy, you're the first person to be on here for the second time, I should say, with Getting Up to Speed. But this is a special moment for all of us on the West Coast, not just the state of Oregon.
Absolutely. No, it's great to be on again. Thank you.
Well, we'll just take care of the elephant that's flying around in the room. In the last 48 hours, and it was dropped on Monday, you got the notification that you are going to be with the World of Outlaws now.
Yes, that's the case. Yeah, today we released that, I'm going to get to drive the Shark Racing number 1A for the rest of the Outlaw season is the plan as of right now. I feel like I was just as shocked as everyone else probably was. It was a crazy deal, really really cool for myself and for my family owned team. We've really been working hard for a long time to maybe get an opportunity or just continue doing our own thing. There never was maybe a goal to just to get that. I know everyone wants a ride, but I feel like we were a little different. Like we totally enjoy doing it how we've been doing it. And, when something like this popped up, I think for a lot of people, I think it's easy to say definitely like a life-changing opportunity possibly, or just, an opportunity of a lifetime is a good way of putting it. But at the same time, just going to be, look at it as it's just another chance to keep racing and do it a little bit differently and see what that can teach me and how that can help me progress or, end up being a spot maybe for a long time. You just kind of never know. So really, really excited to get after it. And like I said, just really kind of something that ended up being really short notice and out of nowhere, and not like this was something we've been planning or knew about and just keeping a secret, just kind of definitely out of left field.
Well, and you're the first non-Pennsylvanian to fill in for Jacob Allen. Landon Myers was the first guy, and for the Nationals, Chase Dietz was in it. So that's a Pennsylvanian and a Pennsylvanian ride, but now that's not the case. You've broken the mold in that regard.
For sure, yeah, and I think in two, I feel like it was really good timing. Really good timing as we're about to head back west. Getting ready to, we run Jackson this weekend, which I've never been in North Dakota either next weekend, but then, right back home at Skagit, and Skagit's, I feel like one of my strongest tracks in the country, at least in my own car, really always ran well there and, did okay with the Outlaws last year. We ran right outside the top 10, and then Dirt Cup this year, we were way stronger than years past. So I think that's going to be great to go there. And, finally kind of came around a little bit at Chico and have some laps there. Was decent with the Outlaws, last season as well. So that'll be good. And then Placerville and Hanford, two places at least that I've been to. So 3 weeks in a row, back home will be really, really good. And realistically, if you look at the Outlaw schedule, there's a lot of racing left, but I feel like it's a little bit more of a sprint at this point. I think it's like a solid 11 weeks. So just want to finish strong for these guys. I know they've been out on the road, all year long. It's not easy. They've been grinding. I'm kind of just now coming in. We've been on the road a little bit to ourselves lately with our Midwest tour, but we just been having fun and like I said, really looking forward to getting to some new places and just in a new situation and how it possibly turn out.
Yeah, I was talking to your dad before Hot Laps. I think before Saturday really official officially kicked off. And I just, threw it out there. Are you guys hitting high limits with Husitz, or are you going to Jackson, or because the Western Sprint Tour is starting there a week from this past Monday, or
Yeah.
we're recording this on Monday. That they're kicking off the southern portion of the tour, and it sounded like you guys there was some interest of hitting that. I know one of your home tracks, Southern Oregon Speedway, on that deal, but all of that is kind of off the table now. So
originally the plan was to basically run Knoxville, head home, like be home by Monday night, like get back and just start working on things. And Carly was going to run part of that speed week. I was going to run part of it. I think we were going to try to hit 3 or 4 nights. Wasn't sure exactly which, but definitely Southern Oregon Speedway in there, and then turn around and just have my stuff ready to go race with the Outlaws. And like that felt busy. And then all of a sudden, it turned into, okay, we're not going home. We're going to High Limit on Tuesday, which is great. I am really excited to be here at Houston. This was arguably our best track of the whole trip. We ran 7th and 5th here in 2 nights, and just had more speed than any of the other ones. Or just consistent speed. Right away when we showed up here, it just felt more comfortable. It felt like Skagit or California or anything like that. So that's why I'm really happy to be here. It is a tough place to race. It's really fast and can be hard to pass. So qualifying is going to be crucial, but I think if, we were just going straight to Jackson, I'd be a little bit more nervous, but this will be a good chance for me to get acclimated at a place I've been to before. And, there will be a lot of cars. It's going to be a big situation, but, at least, like I said, I think a lot of, a time like this is being comfortable. And so for me, that's really big. But yeah, was planning on going back home, and now we're not. But so I think for me, like I'll be out here through North Dakota, and then I'll probably get a chance to try to fly home ahead of time, so I can be there for a couple days before we go to Skagit, and then those 3 weeks it'll be nice. Like even though technically we're doing outlaw shows and stuff, I'll probably end up back in Southern Oregon in the middle of the week, which will be good. And then I think it's like a solid 6 or 7 week stint World Finals, and in that, and I'll get to see basically all new or actually not all new tracks. I'll see a lot of new places though. We'll get to go to Eldora and Port Royal and Williams Grove and places that are nerve wracking for some drivers, but hopefully with Shark Racing's experience, that will help me get up to speed quicker and be fast out of the gate.
Well, and my next question, I always love how like everything came together. How did everything come together? Because I was hanging around your guys' transport a lot during the week, just catching up with you, your mom, and the family, and it just seemed like status quo, right? And then was it the night after the finals, or was there talk like Saturday night? Like how did that?
It was mainly
happen.
Mainly Saturday afternoon. Like, so that's kind of what I was kind of thinking the same thing. Maybe people were, man, you guys just had a good secret like the last 2 nationals and stuff. And it was not that at all. Like I was literally, honestly, Saturday I was about really, and honestly, even Friday, I was like talking about, man, like I'm just kind of ready to be home. And, just kind of, the trip was a great trip, but you're kind of at that point, like you can see the finish line and you just want to finish strong. Like, all right, let's not have any catastrophes, guys. Like, we've done well for the last 4 weeks, and then rolled the car into the pits about 4:00 on Saturday, a little bit later. I don't know, there's already some people in their pits, and we were basically just gearing up to run a C main, which, it wasn't going to be super likely that we got out of it just because we only had 15 laps and we were trying to come from like 12th, which, obviously our goal was to get out of it, but just Knoxville, it's just not an easy place. We were just going to go and do our best. And if we did everything right, then we could. And so, yeah, it was probably about 4:00 we rolled in, maybe a little bit later. I didn't even go in right away. And when I got in, I was literally just getting ready to throw like a camera on the car, and everything was about ready to go. And Bobby was behind the car. Bobby Allen was on the moped, sitting kind of like right behind where we're pitted. And so I, just walked over and said hello. I never talked to Bobby before, but and then quickly, that kind of led into all of a sudden, this opportunity. So it was a shock right away. But I kind of, part of me had this, just like when I saw it, when I saw him, I just was like, oh shoot, this might be, I know that they were maybe potentially looking for a driver, as they had to have a fill in for Knoxville. So in my head, I thought, maybe that would possibly be it. You dream of something like that, but you also have no idea. So it was kind of just right there in the moment, like, a solid hour before the pit meeting. And then, and then there was decisions that needed to be made in the next couple of hours. Obviously in a spot like that, you want to give them time too, because if you can't be the man for the job, then they got to find someone else. And so and there's only so many available in the area as they're trying to continue their busy schedule. So yeah, it was really cool, getting to talk with him, and I think like I said, it was just great timing as we're about to head home, and I think it's going to make it easier for me to complete that schedule as well, and just do the best I can for the team.
And then going from having a conversation with Bobby, did you go immediately to your mom and dad and say, "Hey, this is what's been given to me, or brought before me"?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So my dad was actually right there. He walked up as we were talking, not early on, and he immediately agreed. This is a great opportunity. So I walked out of the pits and I just went back to the trailer, and I was actually, like I said, I almost told my mom in a shocked way. I had her in the trailer, and then my girlfriend was there, and I was like, "Hey, you guys, just come inside, just get out of." There was some fans and stuff, and They were taking care of that. And then once that happened, I was like, "All right, guys, hey, come in the trailer real quick. This is what's happening." And immediately just start going through everything, and then my dad walked back up again, and it was like, all right, this is definitely we don't want to pass this up. And then yeah, basically, at the end of the night, Bobby actually came back over. So I told him I would let him know, and I told him, hey, I'm in, and so got my seat out. I was planning on getting my seat out the next morning, and just went over and saw those guys. Those guys stayed in Knoxville to maintenance the car and maintain stuff and whatnot. And now it's just a quick 4-hour drive up to Houston. So yeah, they're getting everything all turned back around, getting their car ready, getting the car that I'll be driving on the, for all these races. Cause they have, they have a car for the bigger shows, I think, the white and green. And then they also have the regular kind of throwback looking 1A, which I believe is the one I'm going to be running. So, yeah, just, it happened quick, and decisions, like I said, had to be made quick, but I think we were pretty easily all on the same page on what to do, and, how this could just be, great. And, and a chance for myself to learn a lot at, just at the minimum, get a nice little session in school with, some of the best guys to do it with Logan and Bobby and just all their, seasoned veteran crew members.
Well, and when Tanner says, fans nearby the trailer all week long, there was a lot of fans at the trailer, and something that was really cool that Tanner was doing is Kyle Larson did this as well, is just huge lines of people, even though the car was gone, when you guys had to pit in the middle, everything's gone. You guys just stood there and, took pictures, signed autographs, and got to meet the people that came to come see you.
Absolutely, yeah. No, Knoxville was as busy as it could get, and that's exactly what we signed up for, and we love it. It's really cool too, because it's nice to get to see all those people before the races, and then you get a little bit of it after the race too. But especially before, and kind of just gets you ready to go. And in a race that big, we just never done anything like that. We've been to the big shows out west and been to 360 Nationals, but nothing like, the 410 Nationals and Saturday night. So even though I didn't have the exact run I wanted or whatever, just getting to see all that too, just from what another fan's perspective would have been, was crazy. So I always tell people now, the new thing is, if you guys want to go to a race, you got to go to the 410 Nationals and just at least experience that for one time. And the problem is, you go and you'll probably be hooked and be back every year.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a pilgrimage to Jerusalem or something. Just everybody from everywhere. And I remember Wednesday and all the people coming down after the race is like, man, this is a lot of people. This is like Disneyland at closing hour when you're going down Main Street, like people shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Then Thursday, more people. Then Friday. And then here comes Saturday. Pit passes are sold out and the grandstands are sold out. It's like, oh my gosh. And I've said it all year, we're in the times of a really good time to be a sprint car fan, with everything going on, not just at Knoxville, but everywhere. Great racing, good point battles, awesome storylines, and you get to the mecca of the sprint car capital of the world, and it is wild.
Oh yeah, no, and just the town itself, it's crazy too how it's all basically built around the track. I mean, if what we have out west is great and whatnot, but just nothing like what you see just coming back east here in general. And that's one of the cool parts. I think I'm excited just being on the getting this opportunity is getting to see a couple more places like that. Never been to PA, never been to Eldor, never been to any of that, never been to the World Finals. So shoot, it's going to be really, really cool to see some of those places and just kind of get the different atmospheres that you have across the country with all the different fan bases.
And to be with Shark Racing, which is a great success story as well. I know that I was having a conversation with, I think it was Blake Walker and your filmographer, photographer buddy Jay. You had to go sell some merchandise and meet some fans, but we were at your trailer of if there's a team that there should be a story made, that is one of the of like a movie or a TV series. That would be remarkable because kind of sort of a rags to riches deal where you have a team that people laughed at. 2 cars in one trailer. You guys are crazy. You're sleeping in your hauler. You guys are crazy. You're never going to make it. And then fast forward, Logan Schuchart wins the we hope the first of very many $1 million to win sprint car races.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And just how they did it is incredible. And their leader, Bobby Allen, getting them there. So I that's where, like I said, it was like a opportunity you couldn't pass up, and just a chance to learn from the best in all areas. A guy like maybe hopefully Logan to lean on, driver, he set up just like I said, every aspect, and then Bobby, who's done it all for so many years. That's where at minimum, like I said, just what's going to be a great learning experience for me. And I think when you can work with guys that have done it that well for so long, that's where you see in these other situations where guys get in and they're just so fast immediately. It's because if you already have all the pieces of the puzzle together, it's much easier to get going. Where when you're trying to take on all multiple aspects at a time, it's it can be, you can learn in a lot of ways, and that's one of the things we've kind of experienced with our own family operation. And just and just doing it that way. But you love it and you enjoy it, and you note every bit you can to be the best you can be.
No doubt. And something that your mom that has really resonated with me is appreciate the at bat, because you never know what's going to happen. It could take you to that next level, or it could be your last. You just have to make the most out of each opportunity that you have.
For sure. No, I wake up every day. I actually have a thing on my mirror. It's like, yes, like just be so grateful for the at bat. And for me, this is my biggest at bat I've had. But you try to look at it not necessarily as at it, but just as, another. And just any other race, tomorrow would be no different if I was in the 1A or if I was here in the 18T. So, and just like all those outlaw shows and whatnot. And so you just try to treat it the same and really just be focused on the goal of, being as fast as you can and being the best driver that you can be, and giving, these guys the best feedback I can. And just, trying to, put their equipment where it needs to be.
It's just so super awesome and super cool, because it feels like yesterday you were just getting in a limited sprint and cutting your teeth in a sprint car a couple years ago in Cottage Grove.
Oh yeah, no, it really does. It's crazy. Even our journey and what we've been on, and just lucky to come from a good area with a lot of great tracks. I think have prepared me for the places that I've now been to and got to work with. Some great people with Roger Henderson and Brian Crockett and a couple others throughout. Just help here and there that I've really help my family operation get to where it's needed to be, and win some great races and whatnot, and then teach me how to not just be a driver, but to know what to do with the car, and great feedback to give, and what I'm feeling, where the problems are, and how there's 5 ways to fix every problem, and only one has the least amount of effect on everywhere else on the track you're fast, and stuff like that. So it's crazy how far we've come, and it makes me a little sad that like, for example, we are going to miss a couple speed week races at home, even though it's no big deal, but just because I love racing at home in front of a lot of great people, and I just want to make our Southern Oregon fans really proud. And it sucks that we don't have an outlaw race rolling through or something too, where we could really get to run in front of them, but I'm sure there'll be another opportunity to race there soon.
Well, and I was going to say this, it was I know that it was a little bit of a clerical error, but there was a lot of hums and wait a minute when I think it was your qualifying night was Thursday night, correct, at Knoxville?
Yeah.
When Tanner Holmes, and then on the emblem it said Snohomish, Washington. Do you know what the story was behind that?
I have no idea. When I filled out my form and whatnot, I put Jacksonville, Oregon. I feel like they announced me from Jacksonville, Oregon during 360 Nationals, I think.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, that was pretty funny. I definitely saw a couple tweets about that, and obviously Snohomish, Washington is nowhere near Jacksonville, Oregon, but I guess the same area of the country. So most people from out here probably would think that Oregon and Washington's about the same thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it's been great catching up with you. It's been great talking to you, and of course, no doubt, some busy weeks ahead. Your season for 2023 has been pretty good. You've got 4 wins, 2 at Southern Oregon Speedway, 2 at Cottage Grove Speedway, 9 podiums, 12 top 5s, and 18 top 10s, and 34 starts between 360 and 410 stuff. How would you say the year has went?
I feel like it's went pretty good, especially, this year, just, running a lot of really, really tough shows, especially, I feel like a lot of those races where we haven't been in the top 10, a lot of just races out here in the Midwest, as far as how we ran at home has been pretty good. And even on our bad nights, I think we're still kind of okay. I really think too that the win column could be a little higher with there's a couple a couple races where you're like, man, we just let things go, or we were close, or this or that happened. I think a lot about Dirt Cup this year, some of those KWS races, right? Before the Dirt Cup and stuff when we were really strong, and how if a couple pieces of the puzzle are different, like we might have a couple 410 wins. We're just that close, and so that's where a situation like I now have, and it's gonna be tougher with the Outlaws, but just needing that little extra, just needing to be that much more perfect. But sometimes it wasn't always. I think on the driving side of things, it's like, okay, maybe if our car was better in this spot, we had this or that. So I think it's been pretty good. I think we're a solid B plus, and our 360 package. If we were only running 360 races too, I think we'd win a lot more. Our 360 stuff's just really good, and obviously I want to be a 410 driver, but our 360 package is so good. We just don't run them, run a whole lot besides the local stuff and whatever's closest. And when 410 stuff isn't running at home, or that at least at the beginning of the year. So really happy with that, and especially going to 360 Nationals and being a top 5 car before, a little catastrophe there at the end is something that was really, really proud of. Just, working on our 410 stuff a little bit. And like I said, that's where an opportunity like this will be good for me to, see another 410 program and see how well they've done with it to make my stuff better too.
Well, I know we got to let you go because you're a busy individual, but one of the last things, you're pretty much a huge influencer when it comes to the social media game for our sport that we love so much. Is that going to continue still, or with this added responsibility, is that going to change things up at all?
As of right now, I don't think everything's going to be business as usual. Okay. I think that, we're just going to keep documenting the story and keep bringing people along. It might look a little bit different. I'm not exactly sure yet. That's kind of one of those things we're just going to see, but I definitely made sure to ask Bobby that. That was one of my questions, was just like, hey, if I did this, that this felt good. And, it seems like no problem. And, it's just another great way to, for their partners to get some exposure and, just like I said, help shark racing as well. So, and kind of build, what is now maybe going to be our story a little bit together, for at least the remainder of, 2023. So yeah, it's going to keep it the same, keep bringing people along for our journey. And, it's, that's really important to me because, some people have already rode with us so long, and I don't want to cut them off yet, but, it's just been, it's been cool for them to see us come from, one of the main things on this trip, people talking about, from the kart days, even like people being around from the kart days now to seeing us, I guess you could say race, the biggest race in the whole world for wing sprint cars. So just really, really neat. We're fortunate to be in that spot for, that to have happened. And, I guess we'll see where the rest of it goes.
Well, I'm super excited for you. Like when I saw the news, I was just elated, like, holy smokes, I know this guy. And I'm sure for you, it's still kind of like, well, this is dreamlike. What's going on?
For sure. No, that's how it's definitely been. It probably won't set in until tomorrow. So warm up the car and whatnot. And, but, like I said, hopefully just any other race, the good news is, one thing I will say that I thought about is, I think when I first came out to the Midwest, it kind of took me a second to think about, oh shoot, man, I'm racing against these really good guys again. And it kind of might stump you for a night, or two, but now, going to nationals and going anywhere, like by the end of the trip, I felt like I didn't even really look at who was in my race. And I didn't really have, it's easy to get like a mental block, but So I think that's also good timing. Like I just look at who's in my race, and in my head I can pass them, I can make it happen, or you just have that more confidence. So that's one thing that's exciting too. And you have to kind of get over that as a driver, because out here everyone can wheel a race car. So you just gotta believe that you can wheel it a little bit better, or figure out a way, or see what happens.
Well, you got a lot of people, as you know, not just from the West Coast, but all around the world cheering you on, and we wish you the bestest of luck. And so glad that you had a chance here to tell us of how this story came to be and what it's going to look like in the future.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ben, and yeah, I really appreciate it.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the interview, race fans. Again, be sure and hit like, subscribe, and get the latest and greatest news, whether it's getting up to speed, inside NARC, or Sprint Car News today. If you subscribe on the YouTube channel, it'll get you those notifications as soon as all the new episodes come out. In the meantime, everybody, have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time you're listening, and we'll be back next time with more stuff from Highside Racing Promotions.